Hey guys, it's Christina. Welcome back. So, as you saw by the title of today's video, I'm finally talking about the books that got me into reading. I'm really excited for this video. I'm surprised I haven't done it sooner, but I feel like it's such a funny representation of like where I am now and also how much my taste has progressed, and also like the kind of books that got me into reading I feel like are kind of funny. I have always liked reading, but I did get into reading more in 2022. We have a list of 10 books. Obviously the first ones are really the ones that got me into reading, but I feel like some of them are a little bit of different genres. I do have to say a lot of these are romance because that's usually that's all I used to read. My taste has changed a lot, which is also why I wanted to do this video, but these are the books that got me into reading, the reason why I'm here today, the reason why I have book talk, booktube, all that jazz, and the reason why I have a spending problem with books. So let's get into it. The first book I had read maybe when I was a little too young, but it's A Girl on a Train by Paula Hawkins. This was my first psychological thriller. Absolutely loved it. Ate it up, and like I was on vacation. I read it in like 2 or 3 days, which was a lot for me back then, and I really enjoyed it. It's been a while since I read it, but like I said, read it when I was maybe a little too young. But basically it's about this woman who recently got divorced, and she takes this train every day and she watches as one family until something is just out of order one day, and then evolves from there. Then the real book series that got me into reading was the Paper Princess series by Erin Watt. These books were as if Wattpad books were published. It is a girl who if I'm remembering right, she's a minor and she's working as a spicy dancer, and then she gets caught by the cops or something like that. So she gets sent to her dad's dad's friend's house or something like that to live with him and his sons. So she's kind of like living there with a bunch of boys, and like they fell in love, and it's kind of like a mafia dark romance vibe. Ate those up. Ate every single book in that series up. Loved it so much. I feel like if I read it now I would hate it, at least the writing. So those were really interesting. Again, like I said, basic, very Wattpad-y, like very One Direction Came and Bought Me vibe, but ate it up. And then let's go back to mystery. I also really enjoyed A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, the whole trilogy. I loved it except the very ending, in my opinion. It follows our main character and she's trying to solve a murder, which was already technically solved, but she was trying to prove the innocence of the murderer. And then the second book follows a different storyline, and so does the third book. And after that, I started to get a little bit into fantasy, but I think this is the only fantasy book here. Actually, no, there's 2. Maybe 3. I think you can consider the third one fantasy. But first of all, it's a Cruel Prince trilogy. I ate it up, and I do have to say it is not a romantic book. I feel like there's more fantasy in this book than there is romance, but I ate it up. It was easy fantasy, easy to follow the storyline and the characters and the world building, and I would definitely do a reread on this, and I'm pretty sure I would still enjoy it just as much. I do think that it was kind of false advertised in the way that people kept saying it was a romance, and I'm like, there's not that much romance in this book, not as much as I expected it to be. But then I also want to talk about Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. Don't think this was much of a TikTok book, but I do remember seeing a lot. I don't really remember the plot, but I know it's a series, and I want to reread this series, but it was so good. It was also fantasy, just didn't continue it. I just stopped at the first book, and now I want to pick up the whole series, if that makes sense. And then for the last fantasy-ish book is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I feel like this book was so popular. And The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue follows this Addie, which she is, I forgot what century she's from, but basically she's off to be married. She doesn't want that. She goes to talk to the god. She's like, hey, bestie, don't want this. And they're like, fine, but we're gonna give you we're gonna grant you your wish, but there's gonna be a curse involved in it, which is she meets people, and once she like says goodbye to them, they forget about her. But then we continue with the romance, because the next series is the Briar U / Off-Campus series by Elle Kennedy, which, funny enough, the cast just got announced, and to contrary belief, I think it's a great casting. Besides Tucker, which he's supposed to be a redhead, I think these are hockey guys. They're attractive, and they're hockey guys. Like, they have that hockey look to them. They look like hockey players. I like the casting. That's my opinion. That's besides the point. Ate up Briar U / Off-Campus campus. I actually liked Briar U more than I liked Off Campus, but basically it's just an interconnected series of like different couples that are like college students and they fall in love with hockey players. That's pretty much it. And that brings me also to another series which is has a little more depth to it, which is the Addicted / Callaway Sister series. Been talking about this series a little more recently on YouTube, but I read every single one of that series, and it was 10 books. I don't think I finished a series that's been longer than 4 books ever since. So that says a lot about the series. Loved it so much. Love Chris and Becca Ritchie. They also have a series off of the kids, but I'm kind of scared to pick that up, you know, because sometimes you can drag a story out a little too much. These books, love these characters so much. I personally am a Reich and Daisy girly, but I also definitely get the Lilo and Rose and Connor people. And then we only have 2 books left to talk about. I'm gonna leave the last one last because I do want to give a warning. So the next book is Beach Read by Emily Henry. I feel like everybody knows this book, so I'm not going to talk about what it's about, but definitely got me into that beachy mood, and it got me into more of like deep romances more than the silly funny romances. And I think Emily Henry is a great writer, and I need to read The Big BBL. Yep, I need to read that. And then the final book, I want to give a warning because I don't support this author anymore. It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. After learning the allegations, and I'm pretty sure they've been confirmed, that her son is not that nice to women, I don't support her anymore. And especially after the making of the Ends With Us movie, I feel like the topic of abuse wasn't taken seriously, and I don't really appreciate that. So I don't want to, like, I'm saying this like this book did get me into reading, but I don't want to publicize as women. So that's all. I cannot think of any more books. I feel like if I added more books to this list, it'd just be big books I liked. So these are the books that got me into reading. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye!